All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Demetrius Holt, and I am the founder of Blerd and Powerful. And the reason why I am here is to make sure that people know that Black conventions and Blerds exist. There are a lot of people who don't know that we are a thing. So my goal was to always push forward on the narrative that Black conventions need to have more support, whether it be through badge sales or through endorsements, sponsorships, or anything that can help Black conventions grow, so that my people here aren't working with options that are subpar. You go to these other conventions, whether it be PoochieCon or whether it be the GXL or something like that, and they just have money to just throw around for no apparent reason. Now, because there's a lot of people here who probably don't know who I am, the reason why I have this playing is just so you can see that, so you can see the things that I've been doing in the 6 years that I've been a part of the cosplay community. Okay, I got in 2017. I didn't know that 14 months in, my He-Man cosplay would be something that would hit in a way that people liked. So it opened up a lot of doors, gave me some perspective, and helped me pull together a lot of resourceful people who are all about the proliferation of minorities within mainstream media. So with my mission being that, and then talking about the Black-owned comic book conventions and all the other creatives like Tony here that are actually doing things as opposed to talking about doing things, it's put me in a position to help highlight them. And if I could do that at large conventions such as Anime NYC, San Diego Comic-Con, Awesome Con, MegaCon in Orlando, then we could start building more and more of a group that would love to just partake in that kind of fandom. Being Black and being a nerd is a specific niche unto itself. Okay, through my interactions, I have come across several companies that have wanted my help in promoting their entire situation, and I'm going to get to that. But the main thing I want to do for at least the first bit of this panel is, if you've never been to BlerdCon, I want to give Hilton, the founder of BlerdCon, the floor so that he can talk about his convention and possibly get y'all to make the decision to come down and make that choice to go to that, so that you can experience what they all have to offer there.
All right, now you got one of the good mics. I got the great value, but it's all good. Oh, look at that now. This is CNN. Yeah, this man. Possession is 9 tenths of the law. I'll see y'all later. No. Yes, my name is Hilton George, founder of BlerdCon. The mission of the convention is community-based. Everything, when you go into a nerd space, be it a convention, or if you're building a property based on your creation of gaming or even cosplay, you have to build community around your brand if you want yourself to be supported, if you want your endeavor to succeed. Now, every business model around conventions doesn't necessarily work that way. If you were here for New York Comic-Con, there is a difference in vibe from a New York Comic-Con to an Anime NYC, a multi-fandom convention. People are coming there just like it's the regional car show. There's just people who are there, they're not connected, they're just there to have a good time. But you come to an Anime Con, and then if you go to a BlerdCon, it really is about the community. And the strength of the community is not necessarily just what happens at the convention, like BlerdCon, but when we are in spaces that are not, designated for us. How do we come together? How do we gather? How do we support panels that speak to our issues, or support guests and vendors and artists that look like us and come from where we come from, share our experience? Things like that are ways in which we can express community, even when we're in places that are not Blerd specific. And with BlerdCon, when I started, kind of incepting this was around 2015, 2016, there were a lot of us in the nerd space, in the con space, but we weren't coming together. Now, there's a lot of y'all who've been in this for maybe 5 or 6 years who may not know, like in 2014, you didn't see like a black cosplayer meetup or a Wakanda cosplay meetup, or you didn't see a lot of black panels or black people leading panels, whether it was about black nerd issues or anything. I remember in 2015, there was one black woman who got a panel, and it was a viral post on Facebook. Like, oh my God. Like, it was that rare for us to have representation on stages like this. And now you see so many of us having, these abilities and opportunities to speak, and these abilities and opportunities to represent ourselves, our brands, our community, our region, our art, our work. It really does make a huge difference from where we were to where we are, but we still have to continue on, because there's a new generation of people who have a different relationship to the word nerd, a different relationship to nerd culture. It's not an insult to be called a nerd to people who are like 25 and under. Like, they're like, why is that an insult, right? You got young people for whom which all of this, art, technology, all this is secondhand. It's not even technology to them. It's all an extension of their hands. They live in this space, right? So we have to set the rules before, Disney comes and buys all this out and we lose control, because it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen, right? But when they do, what's going to happen with our rules? What are we going to set in place? What's going to be in concrete when this does get mainstreamed in the true fashion? What's going to be our policies and practices around misogyny, right? Homophobia, racism, right? Economic stratification, education, gatekeeping. What are we going to set in place so that when anybody comes and takes this from us and elevates it to these astronomical levels, which all of your great artwork and all of your great creation and all of your great content is ultimately destined to do? Because let's be honest, everybody likes black stuff. When we do something, everybody follows suit. Let's keep it a buck. We didn't put $1 billion into Disney Studios to make Black Panther hit $1 billion in 1 month. Now, we deserve a lot of the credit because we put about, $550,275.30 into it, and then it went to China, and then everybody bought it. But if we had not put our imprimatur on it, our stamp of approval, nobody would have followed suit. Nobody would have gone in and gone at it like they did, right? And that is the pattern, and that is what we're starting to notice. And what we're doing is that we're bringing our brands out. We're coming out with confidence. Look at this cosplay. Is anybody, just quick, look around. Some of y'all who got here early didn't see some of these dope cosplays in here, right? 2014, I would meet people like y'all who'd be like, oh, I'm too confident, I can't cosplay. That's not for me. Oh, I'm too shy. And now look at y'all, just doing it up. Look at my man, I got a decker with dreads in front of me. Come on, fam, right? So anyway, I'm not gonna take all the time, but I just wanna say that, my journey has been all about support. There are a lot of people who came before me, who laid down track, laid down the pathway, that were able to share their experience with me, their resources with me. I'm sitting next to one of them, right? J1 Khan, this brother's OG, the man. When I first thought about, I'm gonna tell the story, it's gonna play. First thought about BlerdCon, I called him 1.5 years in advance. I was like, can I just come hang out with you? I'm just gonna follow you around. This man had me in a diner eating Scrapple at 3 a.m, talking about all of his plans to take over the world, and sharing, giving me that confidence and giving me that knowledge and giving me that thumbs up. They're like, yo, you can do this. And that's what helps make the next step. Now we're the OGs to somebody else, right? Everybody in this audience is a leader that somebody looks up to. So your success, your accomplishment, your progress, I don't care if you're just 2 steps ahead of the person in front of you. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, right? Your responsibility is to turn back and help bring that next person up to those next few steps. Because if we don't do it together, it ain't gonna happen, right? When you see something that says Blerd on a panel at this con or any con, what do you gotta do? Sign up. I gotta come Friday. Well, we were gonna go Saturday. Blerd panels on Friday, I gotta go. That's what I wanna see in my con, that's what I gotta support. I gotta fill out the survey. man, I mean, stand for it, like for real. Like if there was 4 people in here, you'd be like, it was dope. It was packed. It was amazing. Bring them back. So that this man signs up and brings his brand up here again next year, we pack this room again. Or we get a bigger room. It may be better air conditioning. But we right? Now look, I got the good mic now. I want to keep it. So anyway, but if you haven't been to BlerdCon, we happen every year around the summertime. This year, July 12th and 14th. We're in the Washington, D.C. area. Technically Virginia, but we're right next to Reagan National Airport. 3 days, 24 hours of programming. We open the doors at noon Friday, and we don't turn the lights off and keep you out till 4 in the afternoon on Sunday. So if anybody here has an Adderall prescription that they need to cash in, that would be the good time to do so. It's all about value, people. Get your value. So come on through. We're 8 years old. We had our best year ever last year. These guys have been a part of it. Every single one of them have been to BlerdCon, participated in BlerdCon, have had some, contribution to its success. So I want you to make sure you follow their brands, support them, because they support us, we support you. It's all the circle of life. There you go. I had to do it, man, just to make that face. There you go.
All right, let me give Tony an opportunity to no, because there is a plan here in my mind. All right, there is a plan. Oh no, I'm closing the show. I'm gonna close the show, but I'm still gonna give him his time. So the thing is, I want to make sure that I give Tony the opportunity to talk his stuff, because this man has been working for years, and he's moving in the right direction, and people really don't know how to go about it. So please take the floor, take as much time as you need to really just lay it down and let folks know who you are, what you're about, and what you're going to do.
If I talk for too long, I think I'm going to get hit with a Zanpakuto. So I'll be brief. My name is Tony Weaver Jr., and I wear a lot of different hats. I wear this hat on TikTok, where I talk about nerddom, black nerddom specifically, trying to encourage people to love who they are and tell their stories in the ways that only they can. I run an organization called Weird Enough Productions, where we proudly create diverse media content, including our flagship series, The Uncommons, my middle grade graphic novel series, Weirdo, that'll be on the shelves in a couple of weeks. And most recently, Macmillan, the 3rd largest publisher in the world, purchased my idea for a fantasy isekai series. And they like it so much that they're letting me build a studio within the publisher in order to get the idea to market as soon as possible. So have been kind of working on our ideas for a while. The Uncommons has an anime in development being produced by someone that I'm not allowed to mention publicly yet, but I'm really, really excited to be working with them. And I think just in general, what I stand for is people loving themselves and embracing their own stories. So if there is a way that I can help you do that, talk to me here, give me a follow. Would love to kind of learn more. I think I do a pretty good job of navigating the kind of artist-writer ecosystem, and I'm trying to bring some people along the ride. So, hi.
So, Jason from J1Con will let you know about all the awards he's ever won. All of the first things that he's ever done, because again, he was one of the first people to actually do it. We have a lot of people who say, yeah, I'm going to do this, yeah, I'm going to do that. This is one of the OGs who actually has done it, has done it well, has passed on the knowledge to others. Like, I personally did not know how to run a Kickstarter, until I had a conversation with Jason. He told me, do these things. And I did those things and went over 2,000% of what my goal was, because this man is smart. All right, so please, Jason Richardson.
I'm like, who's this guy? But, all right, I'm Jason Richardson. I'm the owner of the production company J1 Studios. I'm also owner of J1Con, which is noted as the longest running black-owned anime convention, period. I also work in animation. I'm an executive producer of the anime Ajaka Lost in Rome, which is pretty much like Black God of War. I'm a game developer, a voice actor, I work on stuff that's been on like Cartoon Network, stuff with Disney, but small stuff. Like, it's just cool to say Disney sometimes. But I work in like all the different industries. I created one of the first Black Nerd podcasts back in, I think it was like 07, 08. It was a gaming podcast called The Reset Button. Then I was part of one of the first Black Nerd radio shows that appeared like on AM, FM radio called Black Triples. Also, I created one of the first Black manga girls that had her own series. So I've had my hands in a lot of this nerd stuff, even when it wasn't like cool, even amongst our own people. You know, y'all hid that stuff because everybody would go home and watch DBZ, but they wouldn't say they loved it. You know, I was that weirdo that would wear the shirts and wear my Spider-Man stuff and like publicly go around and people like, oh, you're trying to be white. I'm like, no, I'm just Black and I love this nerd stuff. Like, calm down. You've heard that, right? The Oreo and all the other little terms they like to throw. Yeah. And they introduce you as like, this is my whitest Black friend, you know, like. Yeah, see, that hit home right there, right? Yeah. So like working in the industry, I've gotten to do a lot of cool stuff like in LA, and like it was really cool hearing my voice on Cartoon Network like for the first time. I was like, oh, that's me. But I like to like try to pave the way, even if I go unknown for this stuff. I mean, I'm a little salty sometimes because they're like, who are you? I'm like, I'm like one of the first Blerd, man. Like, richer than the common world. Yeah, see? I wanted to help and promote as much of, Black and brown faces on spaces that normally just overlook this unless they wanted to use stuff from our culture. So I pulled strings left and right, had fools drive all the way up to Philly just to hang out with me. Then now everybody knows BlerdCon. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to just put as many of y'all in spaces and in industries. I put people in animes, on commercials. Actually, this is one of my actors here for my commercials for VT Heroes, which is a deck building fighting card game. Yeah, I won like 20-something awards with that. But he is a VT White. And oh yeah, look up the Encyclopedia of Black Comics. Dr. Sheena Howard actually made an encyclopedia that showcases influential Black folk in the comic book industry, and I'm an entry in that, like flats. So, go get it. You can get it anywhere. And come get some of these free posters. We got a Magical Girl card game featuring magical girls of color. Hey. I'm gonna give it back to you. Sure. I don't know. I can say it. I've done radio for 10 years. Like I had to talk to people and be funny for 4 hours every day. So I can do it.
All right. So these individuals here are examples of what I want everyone in the world to be aware of. If not, be inspired by. Right? If you're inspired, then you're going to move forward and you're going to do it on your own, in your own way, in your own lane. Right? So with Blerd and Powerful, I'm on TikTok. I thought I was having a good time until I started seeing. Yeah, he's in full pose mode. He didn't want to do that earlier, when there were actual cameras. But anyways, so I started seeing more and more Black nerds having problems just existing online, having a good time without having white counterparts try to diminish their presence. Try to just remind us that yes, we're Black. Yes, we enjoy anime and these characters don't necessarily look like us, but that means what? We shouldn't cosplay as them, we shouldn't have fun with them. Well, you know what, they're not white either, my guy. So why are you even on my case? So, that's when I started thinking there's a lot of people out there that don't move forward with just having fun because they're depressed. They hate seeing N-word this in their comments or N-word that, or just any kind of variation. Like it I am not Hebrew, I'm not He-Mane, that is the that was kind of funny, I'm not gonna lie.
That was kind of funny.
I was trying to keep a straight face on that one. I couldn't.
All I'm saying is that I am a character that I am trying to cosplay as, or that I want to cosplay as, and I do not want to be identified by the color of my skin. It just so happens that when you Google Black He-Man, that's the only way you can find me. You know what I mean? But that's fine. That's changing as of right now. But that's where Blerd and Powerful is. That's one of the origins for Blerd and Powerful. The other one is to, again, push for the Black comic book conventions to get more notoriety. My whole goal was to get something like this to happen at San Diego, so that I can get these gentlemen in front of some high dollar investors that would want to invest in their conventions. Let them talk their stuff, let them pull them in, and let them make their own deals, whatever, right? It just so happened that I got brought into a startup, boy, sit down. Sit down. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. Anyways, there's a startup streaming service called Blerd Station, right? The reason why I got brought in is because I was an advocate for them. I'm not out here talking about, trying to do something for myself. There's a lot of people out there that's for themselves, and that's completely fine. Everyone has their own lane. Everyone has their own purpose. Cool. But there are folks out there that are looking for a voice that would advocate for others, and that would happen to be me. I am not here for clout. I just happen to be in a place where I can help, right? So Blerd Station is a new streaming service that we are dropping in January that is going to rival Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus in all the ways that you can imagine. It's just that we're centered on the Black nerd, The best way that we can help our creatives is to eliminate not only the Kickstarter situation where people are asking for money on a daily basis, and it gets taxing to do that. If you've ever done a Kickstarter, it whoops your tail something serious, because you have to be on it. And then we also want to eliminate the idea that you get paid by the views that you get on your TikTok videos or on YouTube. We want to eliminate that process altogether because it's clear. TikTok, one, the algorithm doesn't work for us. Two, they change how things work by 1 week in, 1 week out. A view for a video can be worth like 30, 50 cents one day, and then tomorrow it could be worth 8 cents. There's a lot of people out there that are relying on the internet to pay their bills. And it's not fair that these companies are supposed to be, beholden to some code of ethics, so that people can live their lives, especially when they're good at what they do. There's a lot of people who copy what we do naturally. The Yundin is a TikToker who has come up with plenty of different transitions for her cosplays, has come up with different dances or whatever, and let someone be of a non-melanated nature do it themselves, don't credit her, and then they get several million views, and then they get paid for those views, where she does not get paid, nor does she get the credit. So with Blerd Station, what we've been offering for some of these content creators that you all already follow is a deal where if they bring people in under their name to sign up for Blerd Station as a streaming service, $10.99 a month, they get some of that $10.99 a month every single month. That means that they're getting paid not by the view, they're getting paid by the subscriber. So they can have let's just say they're getting 85 cents per subscriber, they get 1,000 subscribers underneath their name, they're getting paid $850 a month. What is that? It's like what?
It's like a PS5 and a half.
I mean, what is that a year though? It's like what, $102,000? Something like that. It's not too bad just for passive income. What I would love for these gentlemen to do is be able to bring in their people who come into their conventions, bring them under them. That's extra money that they could be doing. That's extra money they could be getting for their conventions that they don't even have to work for. They just got to promote the fact that you come into Blerd Station under our name, you support not only the convention, but you support a company that supports the Black creative. If we're sitting here saying that we want Black people to put money back into the Black community the way that they did back in Tulsa, before they burned it down, we would have a situation where the Black dollar stays within the Black community a lot longer than something like that. Like the 6 hours, I believe, that it takes for the Black dollar to leave the Black community once we get it.
I looked it up at $800 a month. It is $9,600. Also, 2 really good Magic the Gathering decks.
There you go. Passive income. Everyone wants that. Everyone wants to make money without really having to do too much work, right? Okay. So when it comes to these guys, like I wholeheartedly support them. I talk about them as much as I possibly can. I try to make sure that all the Black conventions that I am a proponent of, which is actually all of them for the most part. I try to make sure that they are all at the forefront of my mind when I talk to people, because again, there's a Miami Black convention that's hosted by 2 Nigerian brothers. All right, it's called Otaku Fest. I don't know what kind of parties they have down there, but it's Miami. You know what I mean? And if you go to blerdandpowerful.com, I have a whole list of Black conventions by state. It's our green book. All right, you can start planning your path for next year. Like, there's going to be a lot of different movements. This convention itself is moving to August of next year, and it's going to be a lot bigger, probably a lot more expensive, and that's going to be a difficult time for a lot of people to choose which convention to go to. Yeah. Right now people are choosing in the month of July. Do I go to San Diego? Do I go to the DreamCon? Do I go to BlerdCon? But it would be great if you were able to just find the convention that's actually within your home state and support that one, because it's ran by Black people who are trying to do the same thing that all of us are trying to do, and that is to grow and actually promote other Black businesses. Because when you think about it, how many vendors are in that vendors hall right now? A good number of them, right? How many vendors do you have in your convention, sir?
Probably like 100, 150.
And how many of them are Black businesses?
Almost all of them.
Hilton, how many?
Like 300.
When you support a Black convention, you are supporting so many Black businesses. People don't see that. They want to talk crap about a cosplay contest. They want to talk crap about a hotel location. They want to talk crap about any and everything when they, 1, don't even plan on going themselves, and 2, they're not doing anything to help anybody else. They're just talking.
I was about to rip into it.
All I'm saying is there are so many different ways for us to support ourselves by supporting the Black convention. People really do not understand the ramifications that come from it. If, let's just say, BlerdCon was to move to a springtime, right? What would it look like if they had Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to exhibit the way that San Diego Comic-Con does, but they had the money to do that, right? That means that they could bus so many kids from middle schools or high schools out on Thursday and Friday for field trips so they can meet these artists like Tony, in order to learn from them on a one-on-one basis. Everyone talks about the media that we get, the television shows, the movies. It's not what it could be, because it's not held by Black people. That's something to pin. What if you had an avenue for new Black artists, writers, screenwriters to come into Hollywood, to come into a path like this, and they were influenced by gentlemen like Tony, because someone supported a Black convention like BlerdCon. You are contributing to your future, whether you think you're not, whether you think you are or you're not. And the bottom line is, when we look at the bigger picture, a lot of people are not doing the things that they say they would do. And all I'm saying is, when you have folks who are actually able to do it, it would be amazing to see what comes from it. And I have proof of what comes from Black excellence right here in front of me. You know? Now,
something that I think would be beneficial to add, like, so for context, I'm from Atlanta, and Atlanta is like home of like lots of Black things, and I always get like my like Hotep uncles that are like, support Black-owned business. You need to stand on business for these Black-owned businesses, young blood. That's what I grew up with, okay? And I think that sometimes in our community we hear it so often that sometimes we start to block it out a little bit. It's like, bro, I'm just trying to buy a sandwich. Like, can you please? I'm just trying to get some juice, bro. Like, can you please not lecture me right now? But the way that I think about like fandom and how powerful our fandom is not in like a kind of finger wagging, like make sure you support type of way, but like to me, fandom is love. Like when you watch a character and you see a show and you empathize with that character, like I've seen people cosplaying as the Miles from the End of Spider-Verse, or as I call him, Dominican Miles, from the End of Spider-Verse, and I was like, that guy was in the movie for like 15 seconds, and you loved him so much that like in that moment you were like, I gotta go find the character design. And I know you had to look it up because he wasn't on screen long enough for you to remember it from memory. Like you had to go look it up. Let me go find the turnaround sheet. Here's what this needs, here's what this needs, and put that cosplay together. Or the Black woman that was in the new Castlevania, saying like that show's been out for like a few months, right? But like you can immediately go and say, I really like this character. I want to dress up as this character. I want to be this character. And I think that fandom and that support is like transformational. It's literally love. It's like you as a community member demonstrating how much something resonates with you. And for me, as a Black creator, there's a desire that I have for the stuff that I make to resonate with my community in the same way. And for people that are kind of creating these spaces that are attempting to solve a need, to create where there is a lack, there's a desire for the things that we are creating and putting out into the world to be loved in the same way, to be appreciated in the same way. I'm like, listen, I've been working on the story for the last 3 years. I would love it if someone showed me the same love as they did a character that was on screen for 15 seconds. That would feel great to me. So when you are thinking about like what you support and what you watch and the things that you empathize with, I would say like, think about it in that way. It's not like a finger waggy, like, oh, I should feel bad about this, or oh, I should be doing this thing. It's more about actively giving yourself the capacity to like love these characters and love these projects in the same way that we do other things we're fans of.
Hey Tony, I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying real quick and put some context over where we're coming from as a people. We have an entire generation of the Black community that needs to be taught how to support the Black community. Let's dial back to Jim Crow. You know, when we could only go certain places and we could only spend our money in certain spaces, when we could only go to HBCUs, when we could only live in certain states comfortably, it was easy for us to be together because we had this common oppressor who, you know, was kind of like throwing bricks from the other side of the road, right? So Black unity in that situation is a different muscle to flex. But once we had, you know, the integrated society where we had the option to go and spend our money everywhere and live wherever we want and, you know, outside of the law, you know, able to kind of live a life as an equal citizen, you know, that next generation that didn't live through Jim Crow doesn't really understand that it is a muscle that needs to be flexed. It's something you have to be conscientious about in order to support Black business. And in some cases, we fall into acrimony when we feel like, you know, the fandom or the customer base or resources are a zero-sum game. If I do well, that means you cannot be doing as well as me. I am taking a piece of a pie, and the more pie I take, the less pie there is, and therefore I gotta either A, take as much as I possibly can, or make sure you can't have as much as you would deserve in order for me to have the other half, right? But what we don't understand when it comes to things, especially when it comes to fandom, is that fandom market is inexhaustible. Let me say that again. there's only so much toilet paper anybody here is going to buy in a month. I don't care what kind of stomach problems you're having or how many people staying with you for the month of December. You're only going to have so much where you go, okay, that's enough. One thing I have known about nerd fandom is that nobody, outside of maybe MCU movies, that nobody has ever complained about, man, there's just too much anime out there. Another season of My Hero Academia, kill me now. Like, nobody is doing that. We love our characters. We love going to cons. We love cosplay. We love our art. We love our music, so that we spend, and there's people who judge this, we will spend our broke-ass last dollar to be where we want to be among our community, dressed as we are, expressing ourselves and participating in the fandom that we love. So when it comes down to supporting comic book artists or game developers or things like that, it really does make a difference that we understand that this is something we have to make a conscious effort on. It's not natural. It's not something that's just going to happen automatically if we do it. But what we don't understand is that if we don't support it, it won't be there. And we're the only community for which that is true. There's whole channels and whole broadcast networks that, feed all different kinds of content that is just garbage. That, no matter how bad, like, they got another season of Grey's Anatomy? Like, what are they doing? How many ways can you die in Seattle that we got to watch more of this? It doesn't matter. People are going to continue to support that. But when it comes to us, we ask for things. What do we ask for? We ask for diversity in sci-fi and fantasy. We want it in front of the screen on the actors. We want it behind the screen, producing and writing. How many of y'all saw the Marvels in the last 5 days? How many of y'all saw the Marvels? There's like 9 of you. Really? I'm looking at hands.
I don't do opening weekend in New York City.
It didn't do good the first weekend. And they had a black woman director.
Right, we ain't doing it.
We went there. Right? Now, what do you think's happening over at Disney Studios? You think that they're saying, we have got to get more black women directors. This is a winning formula. No. They probably scratching some names off the list, like, well, Miss Devernay, and we're going to X, and the next movie is not going to be having us behind the screen.
That just happened with Stars.
Exactly.
Ava just got denied at Stars for the latest project she just pitched.
Not even a Disney property. The fact that other studios and other production companies are looking what's happening affects the opportunities that we have that we say we want to support. And so when it comes down to standing for who we are and what we do and what we ask for, what we literally ask for. I saw y'all on social media. Y'all be like, yes, we want to support this. We want that. We want this. We want that. And then when it happens, and then we don't show up, and then it goes away.
All right, come on.
Yeah, I'm about to light up y'all real quick, because just about that. Listen, I'm going to do it real quick. Listen, I'm so, as a black man in this industry, working on anime, doing voice, doing all this stuff, working on manga, all that other stuff, y'all frustrate me. Because I see y'all online doing all that performative, we need representation, this, that, the other thing. Then when we say, hey, we got 2 black studios that came together to make an anime about an African king and we see the trailers and all that stuff, and we got like, yo, that's real dope. If it comes out on Netflix, I'm gonna watch it. I'm like, here's the Kickstarter link, and then I hear, oh, let me get back to you next month. You idiot, it's a month-long campaign. Like, what do we got? See, and then I get mad. See.
He's not talking about y'all. He's talking about the people that aren't in the room. Right. Y'all are fine.
So honestly, different black people. But look. Blerd Station is a solution to all of that. You know what I mean? Yes. They got the pilot. It's the pilot, right? You got the pilot made.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put it?
Well, we were actually in talks with Netflix and Amazon.
Right. So Netflix, good luck keeping any ownership of that. Right. Good luck.
Yeah, Disney execs looking at it.
Good luck keeping it the same energy as to what it is now.
Oh no.
Okay. That's the thing. Black Lightning started out as a black as shit show. Right? And then it ended up being homogenized to capitulate to what middle America wants to see. Right? That's where we falter, where we can't keep properties as black as they need to be, as black as they should have been from the very beginning, and therefore we lose interest because it no longer speaks to us. You know what I mean? So I say this to say, I know for a fact that there are a lot of black creatives in the writer's room that are very frustrated, the same way Jason is, because things change or things are denied that actually speak to people who look like us, because code switching is something that these executives do not understand. And at Blerd Station, we are a studio that has its own distribution model. When I just asked him, where are you going to put it? He said, we're shopping out to Netflix or Amazon Prime. If you get it on Amazon, cool, it'll be there, but are they going to promote it? No. You know what I mean? Disney, we've already seen, they will put something out there that is woke, not woke, but something that is diverse and something that is meaningful as all can be, and they will promote it.
Yeah, there's their promotional diverse, and then there's the actual real representation.
So what I'm saying to you all is, please look at blerdstation.com. It's got the full presentation there. Support it. Find a way to talk to them about how you can support their conventions through Blerd Station, because again, it's funneling money right back into the community. Now, I've only got a few minutes left. What I want to do is show Jason's trailer for his anime. All right, it's the first. Well, they've only got one pilot out there now. If there's more funding, or if we find a way to put it on Blerd Station, there might be funding on it with other people like your congoers support the situation, become subscribers. And then after that, I'm going to show you a trailer for something that we are producing with Wingless Comics at Blerd Station and 9B Collective. 9B Collective is a concept studio that is co-founded by Aldous Hodge and Phil Butte and Michael Uwandi, which is the same company that actually creates all the images you see in a lot of the Marvel movies. They did all of the Blue Beetle movie. You know what I mean? Like, they are a prolific studio. So I'm gonna show you this with the sound, just trying to get y'all to see what we're actually doing as opposed to what we're talking about.